Welcome back, everyone. Well, I guess on this episode, we're going to talk about what the game plan is. I showed you on the last episode that, I can't think, that we found a crack in the crank on my A, so I guess we'll explain what we're going to do and what the next step of all this whole deal is. So, yeah, let's get to it. But first, before we do that, I need to walk up here and see if we got a battery in one of these trucks. I think I got a truck sold, so I need to get it started and moved out of the way. It's finally a nice day out here in Missouri. It was cold. It was like a couple days where it was like in the teens, so we don't do good when it gets that cold. But finally a nice warm day out today. So yeah, we're gonna stop here and see if we got a battery in this truck. If so, we need to get it started. This is a 1974 International semi. Okay, there's no battery in it, so I guess I'll go see if we have a battery or if we need to get one. I will say the whole my A finding that the crank was broke really threw a big wrench in a lot of my plans, and I'll tell you about some options and some different stuff when we sit down and talk about all this. This video is going to have quite a bit of talking in it, but I need to explain all this and what the best route is going to be. So, yeah. And thank you guys for liking and viewing the last videos. They've done really good. If you like that kind of stuff, we got a lot of things planned, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's do a quick recap for anybody that hasn't seen the last videos and what we're doing with this whole deal before we get into what our plan is moving forward. So, quick recap. This is my 1938 John Deere A. I bought it a couple years ago, pulling it. We've done upgrades on it throughout the year, and we've I'm out of breath. We had a cam grind done to it, distributor, roller rocker arms, fuel pump. Already has a MSD box on it. Well, the next step was going to be, and it pulled good. I pulled it in the 4-mile-an-hour class. It pulled good, but it needed a little bit more power. So what we were going to do is pull these pistons off, take these pistons and have pucks welded on top of them. Do that, and then what else were we going to do? Oh, go do some head work, on it, which there was already some head work done to that, but I think we could get a little bit more. So that was the plan. Do that stuff, and it would take it from like 9-to-1 compression up to like 13-to-1, probably. Somewhere around there. Really up the compression, and that would give this tractor a ton more power. This tractor has been around and was built a long time ago, and so it just needs to be updated, basically. Well, that was all well and good, and we were going to do that until we found this. Which, if you've seen the last video, you already know. But right there, it doesn't look as bad on camera. But yeah, there you go. Right there, you can see that the crank is starting to crack all the way through. Yeah, that's a good shot of it. So once we found out about that, that just made everything stop. We didn't didn't know what to do, and I am very happy and glad that a couple people told me to check the crank on these, because this is a very common thing on John Deere's, to check the crank on this for cracks. And the way this one's looking, I don't think it would have lasted another season. I think the crank would have broke. So, and for people that don't know, this already has a 9-inch stroke, and it was bored 5 7/8. So that makes it 488 cubic inches. Let's get into what the plan is now. Now we need to figure out what the next step is for this deal. And we were, like I have said before, if I can get one, we were going to put pucks on top of these pistons, get more compression out of it, make more power, that whole deal. But that's not going to happen. Or I guess it could. We had to figure out, now that we're basically starting over on this tractor, what is the best class and everything, and how much money do we want to spend on it too. That plays a very, very big factor in this whole deal. So the crank, one option that we looked at was getting rid of the A block, and because it has a step in it, and going to a straight bore block. We have a style day out there, and it would be a straight bore block. So it would be a 5 3/4 inch piston with a 9 1/4 inch stroke. We would actually lose 8 cubic inch on that deal. But if it's built right, because I'm a pretty big believer that cubic inch isn't everything. People say there's no replacement for displacement. Yes and no. If you build your tractor right, you don't need all the cubic inch. But that's a topic for a different day, because I'm sure everybody and their brother has their own opinion about that deal. But, so what we were going to do is take that straight bore block, not bore it out as big, lose a little bit of cubic inch, but have a lot more power, and that block could handle a lot more power than what this block can, because this one's maxed out. It's bored big, it's pretty thin. So that was an option, but that was $6,000 to do. And that was only going to get me 4, 5, maybe 6 mile an hour. Maybe. Another option we could have done with this tractor is build it to 711 cubic inches. That would be a 9 1/4 inch stroke with a 7-inch piston. But that means a new block, a new head, new pistons, rods, all that stuff. That would have been a very, very expensive option. $12,000-ish around there. And it goes back, a lot of people love John Deere A's. I love this tractor, but this isn't, if I'm going to dump that kind of money into something, this ain't the tractor. I don't want to pull a John Deere A. I'd much rather, there's other John Deeres out there that I'd much rather pull. So, and the problem with this one, a lot of those tractors start off at like 3,700 pounds. They pull 37, 4,000, and 4,500. Then they're done. This one is still heavy. It starts at 4,500 pounds and does 45, 5, and 55. So whatever I do, say I just did the 480 cubic inch one, so the straight bore block, that 480 in Division 3 would be pulling against big cubic inch John Deere G's. Like, yeah, because G's start at 4,500, 5, and 55. They pull in the same class as this one will. And now, yes, there's, you just said, Noah, that their cubic inch doesn't matter. It depends on the tractor, really. I mean, this is going to have to work a lot harder than a bigger cubic inch G in those heavier weight classes. Now, I could strip this thing completely down to nothing and get it as light as humanly possible, but I don't really want to do that with this tractor. I mean, it's all set up. It's ready to go pulling. Well, not right now, but other than this part right here that's missing, it's ready to go. Oh, and the crank. Other than the engine stuff, it's ready to go. It's got weight brackets, wheelie bars, all that stuff. So, here's what we're thinking. We can take let me show you. These tires off of it. These are 18.4 38s. Full cut tires. We can take those off of it and put like 14.938 farm tires on it and turn this into a really, really competitive Division 2 tractor. Well, what engine setup are we going to go with? I don't really want to spend $6,000 on this. Definitely don't want to spend $12,000 because coming soon, and I really hope you guys follow along, coming soon, something is coming. Things are going to be happening this year that I don't want to invest all my time and money into this tractor. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull this crank out of the tractor and put it in, or pull the crank out, send it off, and have that crack welded, and we're going to put it back together. We've literally done all this work, a couple days worth of work, for nothing, but we did find the crack. Thinking about it, we probably should have pulled that cover off. That would have took like 10 minutes, and a rod cap off to find the crank. A 10-minute job compared to a couple day job. Oh well, you live and you learn. But we're going to have the crank fixed. We still can get, pucks welded on the piston. Are we going to do that? I don't know. Maybe. But we're going to just have the crank welded. A new crank, a 9 1/4 inch crank, is $2,300. I think welding this crank it's got to be cheaper than that. $500-$600. I don't truly know the price of that yet, but I think that's what we're going to do. And then just put this in a Division 2 tractor. Turn it into a Division 2 tractor. Now you might say, well, you're not, that's not fair. You're not allowed to be doing that with a big stroked engine and all this and that. Why not? The rules say you have to have a factory stock appearing block. That's a John Deere A block. John Deere A head, all from 1938. So, yeah, no, we're well within the rules. And up at NATPA in the top cut tire class, you know how many tractors had stroker engines in them? Yeah. So, no tractor is stock. Doing this stuff is like putting a combine engine in a Farmall or a Alice Chalmers. Same thing. So, that's going to be the plan. We're going to turn this into a Division 2 tractor and then later worry about a Division 3 tractor. Something that we could really sink some money in and have a competitive tractor up in those classes. This is not the one to do that in our eyes. Other people I know a bunch of people that pull A's or building A's, and this is a great setup. They love pulling those bigger classes with John Deere A's. That's just not me. So that's what we're going to do. I think that's gonna be the best route, the cheapest route, and maybe get it done fairly quick. I don't see it being done this year or maybe later this year. I don't know. I got to talk with Brian and see. Well, I got to get the crank pulled out first. That'd probably be the first step to do. But that's what we're going to do. There's been a lot of research options, a lot of talking to people. And I think for this, just putting it back pretty simple and running it is going to be the best route to go. I know this was kind of a boring video, but it needed to be done. We needed to talk about it. Now we all know the game plan. We're going to build a 488 cubic inch John Deere A. Basically just fix the crank. That's what we're doing. We're going to start tearing into that pretty soon. I don't know when, but probably pretty soon. So there'll be a video about that. I have a ton of ideas and stuff planned for the 2025 season. We're going to take this whole deal to the next level. A lot of stuff is coming. I've procrastinated a lot on different stuff and, just kind of made YouTube videos every now and then, but I am going to try and do better about getting videos out to you guys. Also, I wanted to say, we have picked up a new sponsor this year, Renegade Race Fuels. That they are our first sponsor ever on the channel, and I am super excited to be working with them and teamed up with them for the 2025 pulling season. So thank you, Renegade. I am excited to see where this partnership's gonna go. But alrighty, guys, and like I said, make sure you're subscribed and following and watching Facebook. We do TikTok, all that stuff. We have stuff coming. We got big stuff happening this year. So make sure you're following. We will catch you guys on the next one. Drop your comments down. Let's chat. Let's talk. What do you guys think about the direction we're going with the A? Alrighty. We'll see you guys later.